Becoming the best version of yourself requires you to let go of any ideologies and any limited beliefs that no longer resonate with who you want to be. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, High Guidance. And yes, that is what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Now, with that being said, because there's no right or wrong way to heal yourself, always and only take what resonates as well as leave the rest. So if it doesn't apply, it's not for you. Don't force it, let it fly. But most importantly, grab your pens, grab your paper, and be prepared to take notes. In this video, we're going to go over and discuss how to create your new identity, how to accept your new identity, and most importantly, how to embrace your new identity. Keyword is identity, as well as recommendations, some reminders, some disclaimers, and what you should be aware of. Starting off with the topic of the video in the first disclaimer, when you are becoming the best version of yourself, you can no longer do the things in your past if it's not in alignment of who you currently are right now or where you want to be. So an example, if you are somebody who suffered with insecurities and had low self-esteem and you lack confidence at an early age in your life, like as a child or your teenage years, and now all of a sudden when you're watching these videos or just in general in life you want to change, you have to overcome these insecurities. You have to overcome those fears. And I've created 400 plus videos explaining what to do and how to do it. But briefly, you're going to have to take initiative in order for your mindset to change, in order for your identity to change. You don't have to feel overwhelmed or think that you becoming the best version of yourself is scary or difficult or challenging if it is what you genuinely want to do. And that's going to be the second disclaimer. If you don't want better, you can't force it. And a lot of times people try to force themselves to be something that they're not ready to do or that they don't want to do. And that's why it seems so challenging to let go of ideologies and beliefs and morals and mindsets, when it's like, if this is what I want to do, if this is what I want to be, then it's necessary, it's required, and it's mandatory. So the third disclaimer is just making sure that if we want certain things in our life, we're able to take the time to become those things or to experience those things. Like, we're able to make time to let go of beliefs, traditions, values, being able to set boundaries, be able to create distance, and being able to cut off people and places and things like limitations, behaviors, and patterns that are not helping us. Like, if it's not productive, like what you were taught and shown as a child or in your childhood or in your teenage years, if it's not uplifting you, if it doesn't allow you to take up space, if it's not allowing you to be your authentic self, whatever that looks like, it's going to be a problem. You have to know that you creating this new identity and you just being the best version of yourself is a choice. So the fourth disclaimer is that when you're learning to create this new identity and embracing change, have fun. Like, a lot of times we overwork ourselves, and I'm speaking from experience. A lot of times we're hard on ourselves because maybe you didn't have the reassurance. Like I said, maybe you were insecure and you had doubt, earlier up in your life. And when you want to do better, maybe you're confused. That's normal in the beginning, so you have to validate how you feel, but you have to be able to be vulnerable and honest with yourself, because it's like, if you want to be somebody who's confident in the future, like the doubt version of you, the mature version of you is confident, you have to acknowledge that at 5 years old, 7 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old, however old you were in that moment, you had doubt and you had insecurities, and you need to know why. Like, until you know why you felt the way you did, until you know what it is that were experiencing, that you were taught and shown, whether it was a projection or deflection, or you genuinely felt that way about yourself, you're gonna limit yourself. You're gonna think that you becoming the best version of yourself is hard. And we have to let go of these beliefs. We have to let go of these mindsets. And I'm speaking from experience. A lot of times where I've experienced any form of difficulties was literally because the lack of resources, lack of knowledge, not having the wisdom and the discernment that I've had to learn over time. And it's okay. This is why another thing too, another disclaimer, you can't compare your journey or your life or your new identity or you become the best version of yourself to anything that you know or anybody, because it's unless people in your life or in your corner, like I said, are pouring into you, uplifting you, educating you, and helping you, how other people feel about you or perceive about you or what they're saying, it doesn't matter. So it's just like when we're learning to be the best version of ourselves, we have to enjoy the process. And that's what people talk about all the time. It's the process, it's the process. And it's true, like all of it matters. Like where you once were, like where you started, like the lowest version of you, like this doubt, the insecurity, the fear, versus you being in the present moment, which was you like taking the time to educate yourself, learn and unlearn, you know, doing things, trying, and then the actual outcome, the result, what you actually became. All of it matters. So now getting into the recommendations, the first thing that I would recommend, speaking from experience, like what has helped me along my healing journey when it comes to being this new version, was realizing that change is inevitable. Change is going to happen. And a lot of times when you're not used to learning to detach, it scares you. You feel fearful in the beginning. Like, of course, when we go through traumatic situations, it psychologically, emotionally, consciously, subconsciously affects us and changes us. But we don't want to become so traumatized or so paralyzed from the trauma to where we lose ourselves completely and we are just lost and we just feel hopeless and we just feel like nothing's going to work out. So it's just like, if you're able to realize that things are going to happen in life and that there's certain lessons and there's certain things that you're supposed to experience in those traumatic situations or even just in life in general, the more you'll be comfortable with the change and you'll know what to do. Like, I became a lot more wiser and I had a lot more discernment. I became more who I was meant to be, like more in alignment, once I realized, okay, when certain things happen in my life, whether they're good or bad, there's certain things that I'm supposed to be doing. There's certain things that I'm not supposed to be doing. Like, there is a learning moment. And it's like, once you start to put the puzzle pieces together, I'm telling you guys from experience, becoming the best version of yourself becomes exciting. And that's the second recommendation. Like, one of my mentors recently was just like, you need to have fun, because it's like a lot of times we're so hard on ourselves. And it's not to say that the trauma is not real. It's not to say that being touched on inappropriately, growing up homeless, getting into car accidents, losing our jobs, family members, like it's not to say that it's not real, but it's just like, we only went through certain things in our life because we didn't have understanding. We didn't have discernment. We didn't know. There were certain things that we were supposed to learn. And it's like, once you learn the lessons, like, you becoming this new version of you should be exciting, because this is what you're praying for. This is what you're working for. Like, this is what you wanted. Like, you can have goals and no goal is too big or too small, because every day we see people like doing the things they want to do, but it's just knowing that you can achieve it in this lifetime once you realize, okay, what is it that I need to do in order for me to be this woman or this man or this they or he or she or we, okay? So it's just like, the fourth or third thing, let me know what number I'm on because I lost count when it comes to recommendation, is just taking the time to make sure this new identity matches with who you are. What has helped me along my healing journey as well was just being honest about who I want to be. So like, on your notes in the comment section, I want you, and I'm challenging you guys, this is your homework assignment, I'm challenging you guys to sit with yourself and just ask yourself, like, what do you like? Like, what do you want from life? And of course, you don't have to have an immediate answer. Like, it can change. Like, what you want today, it may not be the same in 20, 30, 40, 50 years. But a lot of times when we want something specifically, we realize, okay, this is what I want. This is what's in my control. This is how I'm able to do certain things. And this is what I can do with what I have moving forward. Like, you need to know, like, if you want something specific. So like, if you want, let's just say, to get a degree in a certain major, you need to be specific about why you want this degree, how this degree is going to affect you, and what you're going to do with it. And most importantly, what can you do right now to enroll yourself in university or college or whatever programs to get these certificates and these degrees. Like, until we are certain with who we want to be, then everything will make sense. But it's like, if you're 50-50, if you're not sure, you still need to take time to yourself to self-reflect. And that's the third or fourth recommendation. You have to self-reflect. You have to grieve if you've gone through trauma. Like, if you haven't gone through any traumatic situations or you've overcome trauma, because everyone's at different parts in their journey watching this in their life, you need to know what you want to do. So it's like, if you've overcome certain things in your life and you already know, like, you learned certain lessons, you healed, you cried, you went to therapy, God, answers the universe, now it's time for you to work with what you have, despite what you went through. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. Like I said, you don't have to compare yourself, so you don't have to feel like you're behind in life. But it's like you need to start working towards it. And it's like every single day, as long as you have breath in your body and you're able to be alive, slowly but surely you will get to where you need to be. And that's the truth. Like, a lot of times we want instant satisfaction is what I want to say. A lot of times we want instant gratification and we don't get it. And it's just like, you can't be discouraged just because certain things don't happen when you want them to. And what I've learned is that there are a lot of things that you're meant to learn if it's taking what you may consider quote unquote longer. So it's like, as you are just healing and you guys are watching all the other videos, this is why it's so important, if you're not already, to subscribe, turn on your post notifications, and to watch all the other videos. Because like, what I'm saying is, I mean, if you're new here, you're going to be taking notes, but it's like, you need to be caught up, because it's like, we've already talked about like healing and being sad and being angry. Like, it's at a point of our life where, like I said, now we're making the necessary changes. And this is why for the month of November, this playlist specifically is talking about identity and change and life after trauma and moving forward, because you're gonna get to a point where you move on, which I just made a video talking about, and you're gonna get to a point where you have to do things differently. You can't do what you used to do anymore. Like I said, if you were insecure in your past and you want to be confident in the future, now is the time to start working on your confidence. Now is the time to know what are your resources, what do you have. Like, once again, I created playlists and videos talking about that, so watch all those other videos. Like, you know, now is the time to, like I said, just be who we want to be in this life. And most importantly, the last recommendation is to be confident in what it is that you're doing. It does not have to make sense to anybody other than yourself, other than God, ancestors, universe. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Because once again, we're not here to force religion or spirituality. You believe in what you want to believe. But it's like, what you do, your new identity, it may not be compatible with certain people, places, and things that you were once familiar with, like family members, friends, coworkers. That's okay. Outgrow them. Life is going to go on. People are going to change and grow. You're going to change and grow. And as you're learning to be confident and you're aligning yourself with who it is that you want to be and what it is that you're meant to be experiencing, you'll meet the people and the places and things who have the energy and the capacity and the reciprocity to pour into you the way you're pouring into yourself. Like, as you're having this new identity, anybody who's like, oh, you're not relatable, or oh, you changed, is genuinely a lot of times not good people. Like, you're gonna change, you're gonna evolve. And if the best version of you is healthier and, you know, has a clear mind, has a peace of heart, isn't stressed, isn't insecure, good. You don't want to be who you used to be. Like, I don't want to be who I once was. And it's not to invalidate who we once were, because at the end of the day, we're born into circumstances and may not have understanding. But if who you were 2-3 years ago, or 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago, or even at the beginning of this year wasn't something or someone where you felt secure in yourself, it's okay. Because it's like, you learn how to be secure in yourself. You learn how to just elevate and level up. So with that being said, like always, thank you guys for turning on your post notifications and subscribing, as well as liking this video, engaging, and letting me know what you think. But yeah, your homework assignment is to just figure out who you want to be in this life and take your time. Like I said, you don't have to know today, but eventually you do need to figure it out so you can start working towards it. And just anything that's not on your list and in the notes or in the comment section, you have to remove. And it's a process. It's definitely a process. Like, learning to let go of ideologies and beliefs, especially when you've been installed in them and programmed them since an early age, it takes a lot of energy and effort. But follow me on all my social media platforms. All the information is down in the description box below. As well as, when you guys are following me on Instagram and on TikTok for the month of November, I will be going live talking about this. So check it out right now, because when I'm recording this, or when you're watching this, if you watch it immediately on November 7th, I will be going live, or I have went live already, as well as booking your service in your session. But when it comes to your new identity, have fun, do what makes sense to you, be excited, make sure you're grieving, self-reflecting, and realizing what's in your control and what's not. You don't need to be stressed out no more. That was the old version of you. You don't need to panic, because you know what you need to do. Okay? Love you. Bye.